Welcome back, everybody. Episode 58. Mike, end of the season this past Sunday. We'll kind of jump right into that. It's a good season overall.
Yeah.
Despite an early exit. But it's the way it goes, man.
Yeah, it's always tough when your season ends and you lose the last game of the season. Only one team wins their last game, right? And you just turned my mic, or I can't hear on my headphones anymore.
I knew that. I was just testing it.
All right, just making sure.
There, how's that? I just turned off number 2.
You're the tech guy. Yeah, that's good. But, the boys, the way they showed up this weekend, Friday night, not great. I don't know what was up with us, but we just weren't ourselves. Just didn't have any jam. Saturday, we talked about it, looked at the film, big response game. I thought we outplayed them for almost 60 minutes, even though the game got tied up. It still felt like we were outplaying them for the most part. Had some guys score some big goals, and they blow the lead in the third. They tie it up 4-4, come back, and then win less than 2 minutes into overtime, which is usually how it happens, right, when the ice is clean. That's what I told them. And so then we forced a game 3, and honestly, I felt really good about game 3. Especially after the way we played on Saturday. We get Germ back on Sunday.
Yeah.
Should be a nice boost. And honestly, we started out, we were good.
First period is good.
Yeah.
Really good. I thought, okay, we're gonna take this just because of the tempo, the way the guys were playing. We had I would say we dominated the first period, puck possession at least.
Oh, for sure. And the beginning of the second too, up until they scored their goal, it felt like they hadn't been in our D zone at all. And, you'd like to think no matter what, in a game like that, it's like down 1, down 2, you can chip away and come back. But you know how it is in like a game 7 or an elimination game. Whoever scores first, if the other team can't respond within a quick enough window, it just starts to linger. And then it just gets harder and harder because teams play such shut down in those situations. And so they got that second one. We go in the third period down 2, and it's like, we're good. Like we can chip. We just need 1. I told them if we get 1, we'll get 3.
Yeah.
And then they scored the first one on the power play, and it was just like super deflating. But the boys battled to the end. You can tell how much they cared. You could tell how much pride they took in wearing this jersey, and the emotions after the game. Excuse me. The emotions after the game from players and staff and everyone. It just shows how far this culture has come. In a short amount of time, and that kind of passion for the jersey and the pride in it is something that I think, we've been missing, and it was really good to see, but obviously, not the outcome we wanted, and we'll be back.
Yeah, no, it was obviously a seasons of ups and downs and a lot of adversity, and we obviously went through some changes, midway through the season. But with both teams, just kind of fell hand in hand, and it was just a roller coaster of a ride, really, and a lot of unseen formalities, if you will. And the way the guys bought in, and the way coaching staff bought in, and on both teams, says a lot about what's going on in this organization now. I truly believe that we're in a great spot. And I think it's going to be great moving forward. I had, obviously Corey and I talk quite a bit, and, we're really optimistic about next year. And I know we've had some conversations, and there's a lot of positives moving into the summer. We're ahead of the game in a lot of different ways, which is a plus.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, it was a good season overall. And I'm not going to dwell on, past shit, but, it's been good. The way the guys bought in, the way coaching, again, everybody's bought in, and just the way the culture's changed in the last little while. And, I know you and a couple other guys did something yesterday.
Yeah. You got wind of that one?
I caught wind of that one, yeah.
I love that.
So anything you want to share?
Yeah. So for me, this goes all the way back to when I was at 20.
Right.
My fellow teammates and I, we had a plan of...
You to go, baby?
We were going to get a little Rhino ink just because of how much this place meant to us and the bond that we shared. And I honestly don't even remember what happened and why we didn't end up doing it. There was a reason, and then so that always kind of stuck with me. And then I go off to school or whatever, and now we're back. They all brought it up about getting a Rhino tattoo, and I don't have any ink, or I didn't have any ink, and so
you do now.
Yeah, Sherm was like, "Are you in?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And so myself, Sherm, and a handful of the 20s all went and got our Pharrell tattoos yesterday. Shout out Keith Peel.
Right.
And it's the same font as what's on the back of our game day pucks. It's a quote that we've been saying for, 10 to 15?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And so if you know it, you know how much it means to you. Some guys say it, some guys wear it, and
it's better to mean it.
That's right. And so you can do both, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And
but
so yeah,
I would truly believe you better, in order to wear it, you better mean it.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I think I text Herm yesterday and I said, changing the culture one tattoo at a time here. And that means something, right? Like if a kid's willing, don't get me wrong, everybody I'm sure has a tattoo they regret if they have multiple, right? Probably. But at the same time, it just says something about how much this place meant to individuals when they're willing to do that.
Right.
They're not from here. They don't live here. They're not going to stay here. They're off to, college hockey and doing different things.
Yeah.
And they're still willing to do that. It's just, it just shows how special this place can be, and that we're headed in the right direction, in my opinion.
Yeah. And some of the guys that, I'm not surprised that guys got it, but it's just, when I saw the names, and I'm not going to, mention the names, but it was really nice to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially with the turmoil not turmoil, I call it turmoil, whatever, but
it was,
especially with that. And then to see this it was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And I think more guys wanted to, some guys had to leave already.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can't name names because I don't know how parents feel.
Right. Speaking about parents,
yeah.
What's your wife feeling about this? Does she know yet? Oh, she has to know.
Yeah, she knows. I told her before. So her only thing was we had a deal because neither one of us had any ink, and when we had our daughter Palmer, we both. She was like, I want to get something with her, a tattoo, and I was like, perfect, I'll do it too. I said, let's figure out what it is, and so that was the deal we made. That was gonna be our first tattoo. So when this came up, it was kind of quick, and her only thing was, well, you need to get Palmer on you first, and I was like, I don't really have time for that right now.
Right.
And but we talked to the tattoo artist, and he's gonna mock up some things, and so we'll get that done too. But
right away.
she was, when she saw it, she was kind of like, are you kidding me? Even though she was cool with it, she was like, are you kidding me? And I'm like,
can I ask you a question? Yeah. Why that placement?
Just because it's only 3 letters and I don't have anything else, and I thought it felt weird on its own somewhere else.
Gotcha.
That's I feel like it, Sherm has all this ink, right? And so he popped it right between some other things. But if that's the mainstay here, it's just not it's a meaningful piece, but it doesn't it's not a very artistic piece, I guess, right? Yeah. And so that was kind of my thought. And I mean, I wear pretty short shorts, so it's popping. It's popping there all the time.
I saw the picture yesterday, and to be honest, when I saw the picture, I didn't focus on you, right? And I'm like, oh, they got it. Sherm got it.
Yeah.
And then I looked at it again. I'm like, wait a minute, Mikey got it too.
Yeah.
Did Keith get it?
No. Or if he does, I'm unaware of it.
Right.
So something interesting too. This, and I don't know how true this is, but this guy, so Sherm got his knee piece from him when he played here, however long ago, and the guy said that he's been tattooing Rhinos for a long time. I didn't know that.
Right.
And it sounded like he's done a similar kind of tat on other players that have come through here, and we just may not know that they got it.
Is it Eddie? Who's the artist? Eddie?
I don't remember his name, man.
Short little dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be Eddie.
Right off of next to Lone Star.
He used to be mobile, and then he had a place. I don't know if it's the same dude, but he's done mine too. So
okay, yeah, this guy was, man, he was awesome. Yeah, it was cool, and it was a cool experience because I'd never done it before. So I was like, "This is awesome."
Like I would be painted everywhere. Like not in my face. I would do a sleeve for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do my legs, but I would do upper body. And
why not legs?
I'm just not a big fan of tattoos on dudes' legs, man. I'm just not. That's just my opinion.
Thanks.
That's why I asked her about the placement. But
yeah,
no, it's just me, like just personal preference, right?
Yeah.
But I would be, if my wife would allow it, I'd be painted. But
well, I think you got to get the brand.
Yeah, man. You never know. But we I'd like to do something with camera too. We've talked about that too, but it just never come around. And my wife's not big on body art.
Yeah, my mom's like, if my mom watches this, will be the first time she's heard about it.
Well, Mom, your son got a tattoo right on his right thigh.
That's right. Yeah.
See, look at me, a memory and everything. Even with
you got the right leg. You got the right leg and
Yeah,
everything.
man.
That's pretty good. How many times did you look at that picture?
Maybe once or twice. Well, it had to have been twice because I didn't see you the first time.
Yeah.
Like I just saw, Sherm sitting there and I'm like, oh, cool, man. And then I kind of went back and looked at it and I'm like, hey, frick, Mikey's got one too.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think it's really cool.
One of the guys got it on his right here on his wrist.
Oh, that's cool.
And he's got quite a few pieces, and it looks pretty badass on the wrist. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. No, I think it's cool. Kudos to you guys, man.
Yeah. Something interesting, actually, one name that wasn't included in that, a kid who played here last year, who it just happens to be in town right now visiting and didn't play here this year. And even though he didn't come back and play here, he loved it so much, he did it too.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you the name later.
Right on. But, for all those listeners out there, like even people that aren't from here, because we get a lot of people from everywhere. I was talking to a gentleman this past weekend when I was at the Columbus Combine and the league meetings, and I'm not going to say his name because he works for another team, but he had nothing but good things to say about the organization, the atmosphere that we carry here, just the traditional stuff. And, I got a lot of questions as to how do we do it? And, how do we always fill a place? How do we always have just the energy and the hype and everything? And it's, it's really tasteful. It's awesome to hear and awesome to get asked as to why or how, I should say. That, a lot of people want to work with us. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a big social guy, believe it or not. I'm not a guy that goes out of my way to talk to people, whether that's a good thing or bad thing. It's just me, like it or leave it. I truly don't care. But, I actually kind of talked to some people, believe it or not.
Yeah. And
this one particular gentleman, he was a big fan and knew one of our players that we got right around the deadline. Mm-hmm. And, he'd talked to him. He actually went to Oklahoma City to watch.
Okay.
And he talked to him after the game, and just that particular player said, man, I love it in El Paso. It was a great move, yada, yada, yada. But it's so encouraging. And then when you hear this, when players do this sort of thing,
yeah,
you kind of reflect, and we have to be doing things right. Why would somebody do that if they truly didn't care? Because that's forever, man. That ain't going anywhere.
No.
And it's just, I don't get emotional, but I get sentimental, so to speak, just because when you hear all the negatives about the organization with people that truly don't understand what goes on here.
Yep.
It's nice to hear.
Oh, no doubt. And I think, my question would be, and even, so how many guys that play junior hockey at this level or anywhere get tattoos of their brand on their body, especially without winning a championship? With the championship,
yeah, good point.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense because it's something guys like that special, and especially after you win like that, you're kind of, everyone's just like, oh, let's do it.
Right.
But without that, to still do it, like, it just means something, and it just shows how special this place can be. I remember when I was coaching in college, I had 7 Rhinos on the team.
Go.
7 Rhinos on the team, and the other guys on the team would get so pissed off at our guys. Just be like, man, will you guys shut up about El Paso? Like, you guys talk like it's just the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like, it's just like, they're like, we're sick of it. And of course, as a coach, like, I supported it because usually you don't like, guys talking about their teams and but whatever. And but yeah, that's how guys leave here feeling. Like, every guy on that team that I coach, they all had a tattoo. They all had a 915 right here.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Coach, you got to get one." I'm like, "Man, a 915 on me as a Mexican guy is a little bit different than you fellas. Like, it's just not the same."
Yeah.
So, but like, has been Rhino players in the past that have done stuff like that, and
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
I know that speaks to just what we do here, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man. It's awesome, but really, really nice to see the guys come together, for the second half of the season and make a push that we did. Because honestly, at Christmas time when I was in Poland and all that stuff was going on, I was like, Jesus Christ, like what are we doing here?
Oh,
but
man.
like credit to the players, the ones that stuck around and bought in, and I'm sure there's some players that left are probably like, shit, I should have stayed.
Yeah, and without a doubt, even with the outcome, I guarantee that, and I can tell you that all those guys still reach out to guys on the team, and they thought it was cool that those tattoos were happening, and the grass just ain't greener, man.
That's one thing in life, right? Like, and you don't blame people for not jumping ship per se, but trying to explore different things, right? Because you don't know as a kid. Like, I remember when I was a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid, I was a piece of work, man. And I was very loyal to what I did and to organizations and things like that. But, I was also optimistic about trying different things, new things. Not to say, thinking the grass is greener on the other side, but, I don't blame these kids for making decisions that they do, because they're obviously influenced by outsiders.
Right.
And when you're a 17 and 20-year-old kid, you're not making the decisions per se on your own. You're still a kid. You're still under the umbrella of your mom and dad or your advisor or whoever else is got a say in it. So, you can't blame the player. At least I don't.
There's no junior hockey player that makes a decision to ask for a trade or to leave and does it in a vacuum, all on their own.
Yeah, no.
That just does not happen. They're kids. What I will say to that is, we talked about this earlier this year, and the statement is nobody's bigger than the logo,
right?
And that's always going to hold true. And I think when a room truly feels that way, that the logo is the priority over all else, you don't see as many players leaving regardless of the changes. But players they don't just inherently understand that the logo is that important. But once you make it a point to address that and educate them on that and make them feel that, then all of a sudden, that now you won't have that kind of exodus.
Right.
And I think that's what's important. But at the same time, to any kid's credit, sometimes kids have to make moves.
Sure.
And at the end of the day,
growth,
it is about yourself, for your career. But just the way it's done has a lot to do with how much you respect that logo.
Yeah. And, there was, one particular gentleman that left. I know he was pretty heartfelt when he did. And he did it, I believe he did it for the right reasons, because there was an opportunity there. And then, when things happened, he's like, man, I want to come back. And, he was handcuffed.
Yeah.
And, did he make a mistake? I don't think so, because he made a choice that was right for him, and it was the right move. I even agreed with it.
100%. I agreed with it too.
And then, things happen, and I guess, at that point in time when we, anyway. But, again, the grass is not always greener on the other side.
Yep.
Oh, shout out to Tea to Go, man. So I stopped by yesterday, got our drinks. So they do a monthly drink, and this one here. It's called the Peep, and it's like a citrusy. It's got a little kick to it. It's really sweet, but it's absolutely delicious. It's one of the better ones I've had. What are you drinking?
This one's called Atlantis. It's like kind of like a little more bitter version of like an ocean water from Sonic.
Oh, right on.
Obviously no carbonation, but it's sweet, so you got to have a sweet taste for it, but it does have a little bit of bitterness to it, and I like sour in drinks, and that's where it's probably good. Yeah.
And you can see I've been double dipping here. This one here is the Wonder Tea. And it's a little more...
Hey, these are the sugar-free ones if you're double dipping, right?
I don't know. It's really good. This one is not as sweet as the peep. It's more of a grape type flavor. It's pretty good. There's no doubt about it. Really good. But I like this peep one. And Mr. Aaron, what are you drinking? Pink Flamingo. What is it? Pink Flamingo lemonade?
Kind of like a lemonade, yeah. It's got a little sweetness to it, but
Little sweetness.
nothing harsh.
Nothing harsh. What does it taste like?
Almost like a cherry Sonic.
Like a cherry Sonic.
Okay, yeah.
So that's pretty, because they do a lot of different flavors, like pink lemonade. So that we got the peep, the Wonder Tea, the Atlantis.
Is the peep like a Easter themed?
I think it's a monthly drink, and it could be their Easter drink.
I like that they do the seasonal drinks.
And it's good. Like, they do monthly drinks, and they spotlight them, and they have several different locations all over El Paso. Obviously, they're one of our big sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
I went in there yesterday on the west side, the one way out there, and the customer service in any of the stores that I've been into, the customer service that you get is amazing. They're younger people, very friendly, very onto it, and they explain the drinks to you. And I don't know if I could do that, man. Like, I don't have a lot of patience.
No.
And when you see somebody pull up to the drive-through, and then the person working there is going through the menu and explaining, and always with a smile on their face, going through every single drink that this person asks for, So kudos to you guys at T2Go, man. Like, and the management that does the job training these people, especially yesterday. It was a little bit busy in there, and the gentleman and the young lady that was working, bang up job.
That's awesome. And you know what? That the only way that happens is it starts at the top.
Yeah,
because if it's
100%.
that consistent, then it's management or ownership. This is the way it's going to be, and that's awesome.
And again, like, we did a commercial on the East Side store, in the East Ridge, or the new area out on the East Side, and we were there probably 6 hours, and they still had the store open. They were still serving customers. We had our players in there doing the commercial. It was really cool, but just the staff too. Again, just everybody was super friendly, super educated on the drinks.
Yeah.
And, they weren't trying to upsell people. They were just explaining, asking their, what they like, and offering different things. It was really cool. So kudos to T2Go.
Awesome.
Your drinks are awesome. Appreciate you guys for all the support too.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Mikey, as we roll into the summer,
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves summer around here. I hate it.
I'm looking forward to it.
I hate it because, people ask me, oh, so is it downtime? I'm like, no. It's worse now than, for different reasons. It's a different busy. It's more stressful, in my opinion, on the business side of things. And it's just a long grind.
Yeah, I think where it gets difficult is it's a lot of work, and technically you have nothing to show for it for a very long time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we know what we're doing, and we know when we hit benchmarks, but it's difficult to have a lot to show for it. Where during the season, it's like if you have a bad week,
Right.
You dig in the next week, and all of a sudden you get something to show for it. You get 2 wins or a win the next weekend, right?
Yeah.
Where here it's like it's just a long, drawn out process building up for all the work that goes into the product that goes into next year.
And it is. It's the bent stones, but the summer goes in waves, right? Like, you get busy, and then stuff's coming in, and you're communicating, then you kind of slow down just a little bit before the draft, then it picks up, then it dies down, then it picks up. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, recruiting itself is an emotional roller coaster. The way that I've always felt in the summertime when doing recruiting is like, one day you're on top of the world, man. We might not lose a game. We're gonna be so good. Like, you feel like, oh, we're and then the next day, I can't get a kid to respond. I lost another one, and you just feel like we're gonna be terrible. And this is emotional roller coaster constantly, and you base it all off of your last signing or lack thereof.
And you do the research as much as you can, right? And we go to these combines, we go to different events, and we scout, and we do this, and you get your guys, so to speak, and then you get imports, right? So everyone's got imports. A lot of times, if they're not playing in the U.S., you don't get to see them except through video.
Mm-hmm.
And, word of mouth, hey, have you seen this guy? Yeah, he's awesome. And then you just kind of go off a report card of how many teams are looking at him, and, okay, he's got to be good. So we try to get in front of everybody. Then they show up. and they're supposed to be like savior of your organization and bring the team to the next level. And you're like, God dang, that's a lunch bag letdown.
Lunch bag letdown.
You know, I'm not saying we had any of that, but it's the reality of it, right? Like you hear it all the time, and that's at every level, NHL level, collegiate level, whatever, man. You know, you think you got your guy, and sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Oh yeah, have you ever seen the movie Moneyball?
Yes,
it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And when he tells the scout, like the director of scouting, he says, "I've sat there in the living rooms with you, and I've heard you look, see you look parents in the face and say, when it comes to your son, I know. And when I know, I know."
Yeah.
And he's like, and you don't. And that's the truth, because you just don't. Like you can see them in person. You can say, this is going to translate. And if you're good at what you do, you should be right more than not.
right.
But sometimes you think you know, and you don't.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it and how good you think you are. Sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, Edmonton Oilers are the perfect example of that.
Right? How many first overalls did they have like in a row? Like 3?
It was 3, yeah. Yakupov.
What a letdown that guy was.
Yep. McDavid, which, I mean,
Okay,
you can't
he's
can't freaking miss on him. I mean, come on, generational talent. They got that one wrong.
Yeah, wow. Eh?
And then I can't remember. The other one was Nuge, right?
Yeah, and I'd give him probably a C+ or a B-.
He's a solid player. He's just not a first overall draft pick.
No. And you're talking about draft coming up. The NFL draft is it today?
I couldn't tell you.
Is it today or Aaron, do you know? I know it's on a Thursday. It might be today or next Thursday, one of the two, but Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
Like his stock is, now he's projected to go 9th overall.
Yeah, do you see they retired his jerseys at Colorado?
Terrible.
Him and his brother. I know. You want to hear a quick? Do I have time for like a 2-minute?
Yeah.
I'm only going to take that long. So I got these two
Only
buddies.
2 minutes.
Okay. I had these two buddies that I played with in college, and they're two of my best friends, and they're diehard football fans. One's Washington, whatever they are, the Commanders now.
Yeah.
And the other one's a Cowboys fan, right? So division rivals. And every year we'd get together and watch the draft, and you have a few beverages, and these two guys would always get fired up, and it always starts with like a game of ping pong.
Yeah.
And then it turns into, and then the verbal starts going at each other, and then it's let's wrestle, right? And you know how that goes. And so I'm talking like these are like 20 at the time, like 27-year-old men, 25, 27, and so they full blown wrestling match, and the one guy like he got his face rubbed in the carpet. So whatever, these two guys they go at it, and like I'm talking like they just beat each other up on like a random Thursday over the NFL draft, just acting like children. My one buddy, he's the controller for a company now too. He in the wrestling match, he had such bad rug burn on his face, he had to call into work the next day because he didn't know how to explain it. And yeah, like those two guys, I've seen them almost throw blows. I don't know how many Sundays, just over a game of football.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the one thing about like the NFL. I'll give credit to that. Like the fans are freaking bananas, man.
They just, yeah.
I
don't know if it's like because it's a shorter season and it's so limited with just the one game a week, but they make it their identity.
It's just exactly. It takes over like control.
Dude, that same friend that's a Washington fan. There's a guy, Kevin Sheehan, he was a Redskin, and he's got like one of those talk shows. He's a once a week call-in guy to like speak on the radio for like, and it's just a Washington radio station. Like that's how much he cares.
Wow.
About it.
So they know him. Oh,
yeah.
Here's Kevin again.
Yeah, exactly. And he's a big, goofy Canadian.
Right on. So speaking about like the Cowboys, I'm not a fan of the Cowboys, whatever, it don't matter. But, I talked to the sheriffs that work here, as security. I'm like, so during the football season, it's pretty busy. He's like, if the Cowboys lose, we get more domestic calls than any other time of the year. I'm like, are you kidding? He's like, they're like, man. And it wasn't just one sheriff telling me this. It's like, it's crazy. Cowboys lose, man, something's going to happen.
100%. I mean, in El Paso, you want to go to the grocery store on a Sunday? What time do the Cowboys play? Best time to go to the store.
Yeah.
Because everybody's watching the game.
I think that's so, like, obviously not the domestic stuff, but I think it's just so cool that, people get into it that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I would never, and again, I'm different than probably Walgreens or Albertsons to get something. You know what I mean? Or wear a jersey.
Oh, 100%.
Period. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not me.
Yeah, I know. I think when you're an athlete, I don't know, whatever.
And I always get a kick, and I always correct people. I shouldn't say this, but yeah, man, we're gonna win today. I'm like, what are you on the team?
We? Yeah.
You on the team? I always say that.
I hate that.
Yeah. Man, we're gonna get them today. We're gonna kick some ass. Well, man, you on the team?
That's awesome.
And they like, shut up, man. I'm just asking you, dude. What's this weird shit?
How do you impact it?
Yeah, but it's pretty funny. But draft is coming up, and again, I don't know if it's today or next Thursday, but that's always fun to see some of those guys and just the amount of money that those guys make to be a first round pick versus second versus third versus fourth.
Oh
it's insane.
And it's like even if you're going to be a bust, at least get that first round draft pick, because then you can live off. You can't live off it, but you get a nice little start.
Yeah, you can figure it out. That's for sure.
Yeah, NHL playoffs next Tuesday.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we already got that set up for Tuesday night home opener.
And so I heard burgers and brats.
Yeah, I'll be over there. Obviously, you're going to be there too. Mike Medalis, you're going to be bringing some guacamole chips, bruh. He's watch. He always watches this, and he always chirps.
Does he really?
I think he does. He's just one of those closet dudes. You know what I mean?
He's got to come out. What do you mean?
I didn't mean it like that, but he's just like a closet fan. You know what I mean? Like he sits behind the scenes and won't tell you anything, and then he'll pop up and chirp you about something. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, you actually watch it.
Dude, I love that guy.
Well, he'll be there. So we were chirping last night, going back and forth, and he's a big Sens fan.
Really? That's interesting. Does he have a reason why?
He's always wanted to be Canadian. You know what I mean? But we won't let him in. He's got too long a hair.
If you're gonna pick
too long of a goatee.
If you're gonna pick a team from Canada, though, Ottawa.
Yeah, I always chirp him about Ottawa. I was chirping him last night, but especially them playing Toronto first round.
Yeah.
Because he has the other side, right? I don't know why he's a Sens fan.
I don't know many.
Yeah, there's probably more fans in this building that they get in the home game in the stadium.
Isn't the stadium like in a terrible location? It's like hard to get to, and
I don't know.
Yeah, I've just heard people talk about that's why they want to relocate them. It's just hard, and because remember when they were in the playoffs a couple years back and they didn't even sell out the building.
Yeah,
that's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. But I think I'm going to go for the Sens in the first round because I can't stand Toronto.
Oh yeah, you're a Toronto hater.
I like Matthews, dude. Like really, like just all those clowns, man. Like truly, like I can't stand Matthews. Yeah. I don't even think he's that good.
Come on, man.
I don't.
Don't go that far. You can not like a guy, but come on.
I don't think he's that good. He's good. He's good.
Define that good.
So he had 70 goals one season. It's pretty good. But where's he been lately?
He's first class in the NHL.
He's not first class. He's got a freaking greasy mustache. He wears banana hammocks and Hawaiian shirts to the rink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think he's a clown. Just like Mahomes.
But he's unbelievable. He's one of the best 200-foot centers in the NHL.
I've never played 200 feet. More like 65.
And a whistle?
Yeah, he's good, man. But I just there's something about him. The way he carries himself is, I just don't like him. I'm allowed to my opinion. Just like there's a lot of people out there that don't like me. And you. I don't care.
You are entitled to your opinion. 100%.
I don't like him.
That's okay.
Who else is on their team?
You have Mitch Marner.
Yeah, see, that's another guy.
Well, that one I get more. Tavares.
I like Tavares.
Revo.
I like him.
Morgan Riley.
Don't like him.
You don't like Morgan Riley? What's wrong with Morgan Riley?
He doesn't even look like a hockey player. Tell me he looks like a hockey player. Exactly.
I mean, the way he moves on the ice, that's all that matters.
Now, look at his tape job. Not for starters. Who else?
Matthew.
I can do this all day long.
Matthew Nyes, that guy from Michigan. He had a hattie the other night.
He's pretty good. Yeah.
What about Revo?
I like him big time.
Of course you do. Yeah.
I just think he's he can play the game. He's not like he should be there for what he does. If it was based on talent, he wouldn't be there. But he brings a lot to the table.
Yeah, I think he'll be back up for playoffs, especially if they're playing the Sens, because you got to have somebody to handle Mr. Brady Tkachuk.
See, I don't even think he's tough.
He's tough. He's tough, man.
He's not Revo tough.
No, because he has to actually play the game more.
Right, but
But he will fight heavies.
100%. And he's tough in that sense, but he's not. You don't go out there and like, holy shit.
Yeah, but he'll do something ratty and then have to answer the bell to Reeve.
And I like him. I like how he plays.
100%.
Who else?
Good American kid.
Canadian.
I'm trying to think who else on their roster that you would. I don't know. I mean, those are the big dogs. Nylander. I know you hate him. There's no way you like that guy.
You know what? I like him because he chirps old Matthews.
He's the only one who comes through in playoffs consistently.
And I like him because he calls those two out, man.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
And he does.
Amazon has this like behind the scenes at the playoffs last year, and they follow all the like individual players on each team.
Yeah.
And he was the one for Toronto. And from that, I grew to like him because I think he's a little bit misconceived. He's just his like cockiness and stuff and like attitude that people complain about.
Yeah.
I think it's just misconceived for a high compete level.
Yeah, and I could see that. And another guy that was Ovechkin. See, I didn't like Ovechkin because I just had that perception of him that he was just a bad teammate, and you know what I mean? Until he won the Stanley Cup. And how he acted that summer when they won the Cup was unbelievable. Yeah. I agree. I grew to like him and just had so much respect for him.
Yeah, I mean, that is just 100% the product of Barry Trotz right there.
Yeah.
Just teaching defensive hockey and getting him to play the right way. He was the first one who could do it.
Yeah. And, I just think, and then now he has the record, but when you hear things about him, and we know some people that know him, and they just say that he's an unbelievable human being, one of the best captains ever, and just such a down-to-earth kind of guy.
Yeah, see, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah. The fact that he eats cheeseburgers and drinks Cokes on the bench, you know what I mean? That's awesome. Because they interviewed him the other day. He's like, he was like, something talking about his diet. He's like, yeah, on the plane I get Cheetos, Subway, and Coke.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Some guys just got it.
Hey, man. Kudos to him. But anyway, Mike, we'll wrap it up here. It's going to be a summer. We're going to obviously continue our podcast throughout the summer. I think we need to have some predictions laid out for the Stanley Cup. I think we need to have some serious bets going on.
Okay.
And we're going to include Aaron.
Okay.
We'll include Sherm.
Okay.
And but we're going to make it worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
Something stupid. Not lunch, not this or that. Something that's going to be worth it.
All right.
And now that you shaved your head, we got to take that off. But I wonder what you'd like without a beard.
I have not. My wife a heart attack on that. Swear to you, I have not been clean shaven since I was 19 years old when I worked at Butterfield Trail, and they made me. And they used to literally, if you came in with stubble, they'd hand you a 2-blade Bic razor
right on.
and be like. So since then, I haven't been clean shaven. I've always had a beard since then.
Well, that might be something that we could put on the table. Certainly make guys think about what they want to bet on.
I mean, I really need to. I mean, the reciprocal on that is going to be a high cost to you.
Yeah, but I'm pretty much open for everything.
That's the problem.
But either way, we'll figure out something. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Episode 55, T2Go. Thank you so much as always. You guys got some good stuff, great customer service, and drink of the month is the Peep. Pretty good citrusy drink, guys. Until next week, thanks, Mike. Aaron, appreciate you. And stay tuned, everybody. We'll see you next week.